Hey guys, got a Next Level Motorsport and we have an engine for our gs300 build. If you'd like to see what it is, keep watching, and also like and subscribe to our page for all our future updates and see if we get it in the car and running like we hope to. Alright, here it is. Toyota 1GZ V12. Bit of history about the engine. It's out of a Toyota Century. We didn't get those here in Australia, so the engine's been removed in Japan and shipped over. Commonly used as a governor car in Japan, the Century. It's a big luxury sedan, saloon, I guess you'd call it. This is our brand new, genuine Toyota 1GZ to A340 automatic transmission bell housing. Yes, we're going to keep it as an automatic. Being a Lexus, we figured we don't need a manual in this car, and it's going to make things a bit simpler to complete it on the time frame we've got. As you can see, we are missing some pieces off the motor. In factory form, there are top halves of the intake manifolds that then come into the centre, and it runs dual drive-by-wire throttle bodies. That's not an issue because we're not going to use them anyway because they won't clear the bonnet. We're missing the aircon compressor, but that's okay because the Lexus has 4 working windows, so no dramas there. On the other side, we are missing the alternator, which we're hoping we can steal and modify a 1UZ1 and get it to work. Missing a starter motor. Again, we will try steal the one off a 1UZ that we've got spare, make it work. Another thing that we're missing is the 2 engine ECUs. From factory, these things didn't just run on 1 ECU, they ran on 2. One controlled the left bank, one controlled the right bank, and in the event of a failure of one bank, they could continue running the engine on the opposing bank. We're going to obviously not be running a factory ECU. The guys at Haltech have been good, come on board, and we'll be running an Elite 2500 ECU and running wasted spark and semi-sequential injection on it just to get it going. It'll make good power, it'll work, it'll be reliable. So for today, we're just going to remove these intake plenums. Basically, we've got to cut them in half and put some other form of chamber on the end of them to a couple of throttle bodies. We're also going to pull the injectors out and get them flowed and cleaned because we're going to keep this naturally aspirated for the time being. Down the track we will probably boost it, but for now just going to get it in the car running, naturally aspirated, and then once we know it's all reliable and everything's working well, we'll go to adding a pair of turbos to it. Okay, now we've got the intake plenums off, we can see the wasted spark system. So each bank has 3 coils and 3 spark plug leads, so we're firing 2 cylinders at the same time. And we can now see this plastic spacer on the intake plenum and the lower intake manifold. Now we're down to here, we've got access to our fuel rails, 2 of them, and our fuel injector plugs, and we'll remove all of that and get them all cleaned. Okay, so we've got our upper plenums removed, we've exposed our cam covers. This passenger bank, the oil filler neck sits up really high and it's right in the path of where we want to run our throttle body. So we're going to have to chop this off and probably put an aftermarket filler cap on here. Going to tidy up these cam covers. They're obviously looking pretty oily. So we're going to pull them off, modify them, and once they're modified we will send them off and get them powder coated. got our cam covers off. You can see we've got quad cams. We've got a pair of scissor gears that basically drive off a single cam sprocket, much similar to the setup on the 1UZ. Only difference is we're at the front instead of in the middle. Up the back here we've got our cam sensors, one on each bank, and everything is actually looking quite clean inside the motor, so we're pretty happy with that. Alright, that brings us to the end of this episode. Next episode we'll attempt to put this big old engine into the Lexus and see if the 1UZ parts are going to help us out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next episode.